Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing out there in this beautiful day? At least it is here in Northern Virginia. So, welcome, everyone. I want to welcome Dan, our guest. He is from the great state of Texas, and we're going to give him a proper introduction in just a few minutes. But Dan is a wholesaler facing some challenges in scaling. He's got some really good going down there in the beautiful state of Texas. So, stick around, and we're going to tell him exactly how he can go from 25 deals a year to 100 plus deals. This is going to be awesome. So this is a live hot seat that we try to do each and every Tuesday, where I bring guests on like Dan who are in real estate and are facing some type of obstacles in terms of reaching their goal. And I literally crush each and every obstacle and give them a game plan to how they can reach their goals. So why do I do these? I do these because I love to give back. I love to help to show ordinary people that you can change your life through real estate investing through a tactic that we use called wholesaling, where you don't require a lot of cash, bank loans. You don't need any bank loans, actually. You never buy the house, so it's a beautiful thing. And I forgot to put my headset on, so I'm going to put that on really quick so you guys don't hear any going back and forth, any reverberation when Dan speaks. Anyway, this is why I do it. I do it to help people, and you'll see as we go through this podcast that I'm going to give Dan some help. But I know everyone out there in Facebook land is going to hear this and hopefully take some gold nuggets out of this. So who am I? My name is Brad Chandler, if we haven't met, and I started in the business in 2003 with a negative $80,000 net worth. I was one of those 78% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. And since then, I've been a part of over 5,000 real estate transactions. And I now have a company that does 250 wholesale deals a year without me. We have 26 employees, including full-time VAs. So guys, you can do the same. Watch this video and then download my free training at the end. I'll give it to those guests who stick around. And I'll show you exactly in that free training how I wholesaled a house in Chantilly, Virginia earlier this year and made $33,750 without ever buying it or renovating it. So anyway, okay, I'm going to share this to my page, and I want you guys, while I'm doing this, to, in the comment section below, tell me where you're from, and any questions that you have, type them in the questions, and I will answer each and every one of them. Whether you're listening live or you're listening a couple of weeks later on a rebroadcast, believe me, I will come back. So ask your questions, and please share this with anyone you think they can get useful knowledge out of this. Like if I say something you like or love, or Dan says something you like or love, hit us with the heart button or the thumbs up button. All right, guys, drum roll, please. Welcome everyone to the Real Estate Investing Hot Seat live stream podcast. Welcome, Dan. Dan, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, Brad. I appreciate you having me here. I'm doing awesome here in San Antonio, Texas.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about who are you and why are you on the podcast? What do you do?
So a little bit about myself. I became a full-time investor in November 2015. I remember that date very well because that's when I quit my previous job. I was general manager at Palm Harbor Homes for about 4 years, which is mobile and manufactured homes. And that's a little bit of how I got introduced into real estate. I love the idea of being able to interact with the public on a real estate level. I love the idea of the freedom that it gave. And I jumped in, my story is a little bit different because I jumped into an area of real estate that a lot of people might not know a whole lot about, which is owner financing. That's primarily what I do. So last year, we transacted a little over 25 transactions, was able to keep most of them. My wholesale deals were a little over 10, I think it was about 10 or 11, so about a third of them. And that's one of the things that I still struggle with. I know for a fact that if I'm able to build a wholesale machine, I'm able to cherry pick the best deals. And that's really the foundation, I believe, the foundation for any real estate investor, to really be able to cherry pick those deals that they can keep, either to rehab them or to flip them or to hold them through owner finance transactions the way we do. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's my background, and I really want to say thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on this format, and hopefully not just derive benefit, but if something we say hits someone else or they're able to benefit from it. I mean, that's the beauty of technology nowadays.
Awesome. So guys, let's give him some heart. Send Dan some love for quitting his job back in November 2015. So awesome. Congrats for doing that, Dan. So in 2017, you did 10 wholesale deals. And then how many buy and holds did you do where you did seller financing?
Most of the rest. So we added last year, right around 13, 14 notes to our portfolio.
Okay. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because this is really about wholesaling, but it's just I'm sure people are going to want to know. So are you buying these houses and then you're putting a seller you're selling them on seller finance notes?
Correct.
Put a buyer in there. And
Yeah.
how are you financing the properties?
So we've got two strategies. One of them, especially if they're free and clear, we get the original seller involved and we negotiate seller financing to us, obviously at very good terms, very low interest rate or zero down, 0% interest rate. We do have I do have a connection with two private lenders that basically lend the money at very favorable terms, and they let us wrap the notes. So those are the two options that will work for us.
Okay, guys. So great way to create wealth is just another strategy in real estate. There's countless strategies in real estate. Um, I won't say it's risky, but there's a lot of regulation around it, and I'm sure Dan's well aware of it. There's all kinds of laws and regulations. So if you're going to do this, just go speak with an attorney that knows what they're talking about. Do
Absolutely.
you know my man Mitch down there in San Antonio?
Oh, Mitch Stevens. Yeah. If you go to my Facebook page, we just did an interview together a couple months ago. He's a great guy. San Antonio has some really, really, really awesome owner finance people. Mitch is one of them. Eric is another one. Sam is another one. I mean, they're really, really great. They're my heroes.
Awesome. So Dan, what are your goals, man? What are you trying to do that you're not doing?
So obviously, increasing our notes is something that we always want to do. But one of the goals is, ironically, a lot of people come into the real estate world through wholesaling, through contract assignment. Why? Because it's probably the least riskiest, requiring least amount of money. I recommend it. I did not come into this world with a wholesaling background. So although I 100% understand the concept and I know it and I do it, I don't have a wholesale machine. And I know that a wholesale machine is or should be or can easily be the foundation to really bring in the leads and kind of dissect them. So one of the things that happens to me in my business is we're very profitable in the long term, but our cost of leads are very expensive. I mean, right now, on average, for every deal that we close, we're looking at anywhere between $750 to $1,000 when everything's been said and done. We spend a little over $5,000 a month on bringing leads in, but because our model is kind of a long-term owner finance approach, yes, it's profitable, but the volume isn't there. And if we can, one of my goals is really to create a machine, a wholesaling machine that allows us to capitalize and basically self-fund our marketing. Right now, our marketing is not self-funded. We have to allocate, a portion of the down payment, a portion of our income for marketing. And the goal would be to have wholesaling as a machine that will self-fund the marketing aspect.
So let's get a little more concrete with your goal there, Dan. Goals. How many a year from now? How many wholesale deals do you want to be doing a year, and how many notes do you want to be doing a year?
So wholesale deals, would definitely like to push it up to anywhere between 35 to 50 in a 12-month period. And notes, we want to bring them up at least to 50 to 75.
A year.
Correct.
Okay. So earlier you said that the cost per deal is about $1,000. Is that for wholesale and notes?
When everything's been said and done, yeah. So when you take the whole amount of marketing that's spent and you divide it by the total number of deals that we do.
So it's really impossible to say your average profit on a seller finance because you don't know it until the end and you don't know how it works out.
Yeah.
But what is your average wholesale profit?
On average, our wholesale is about 12,000.
Okay. All right. So here's gold nugget one number, guys. Dan, you're kind of complaining about a high cost per deal of, you said $750 to $1,000. If you're truly spending $1,000 to get 12,000 back, dude, you are lighting the world on fire. So, so all you got to do is, and we'll get into that, what you're doing and what's working and what's not working. I mean, I'm telling you that a 12-to-1 ratio, you spend $1, you get 12 back. That is unheard of in this industry.
Mhm.
So tell me what you're doing, and have you tried to scale what you're doing to get more wholesale deals? How
Um,
are you finding these deals?
yeah. So what we're doing for so the bulk of the money, which is about $5 grand a month more or less, is spent on direct mail marketing. We have almost zero, Facebook ads or internet. I hate to admit it, but I'm not a technologically savvy individual, and it's hard for me to wrap and to spend on something that I personally don't get. I get mail. I mean, I understand mail. I obviously receive mail. So it's easier for me to spend it on it. So what I've developed is kind of I call them conveyor belts. So we start off with a list, and it might be, two, three, four, 5,000 people. We have one list that's 3,000, and then another list that's I think it's 4,000. And I developed kind of a conveyor belt system where over a period of 24 months, they're going to receive at least 30 touches by us. Now, 30 touches, they can be a text, they can be ringless voicemail, they can be a letter. But I've kind of outlined, when we start the campaign, what they're going to be getting and the whole process. We're pretty good about kind of following them up, but it's everything is very manual. So and by the way, it's just me and two other people. So I don't have a huge team. I do have a small team of VAs that kind of do the data mining and if we need anything on the data side for them to work. But on our side, it really is just me. So I've kind of developed it. It's expensive. At least I feel it's expensive. I mean, we kind of launched that conveyor belt. The first one was launched about a year and 2 months ago. Let me see. Yeah, it was about a little over a year. And then the second one we launched it about 6 months ago. So that's what we're doing so far. And it makes the phone ring. But obviously the conversion is not that great.
So you're getting a list, and then assuming you're skip tracing to get phone numbers and email
Correct.
address.
Correct.
And tell me if I'm right. Over 24 months, over 2 years, you're touching them 30 different times between
Correct.
direct mail, text, and phone calls.
Correct.
Okay.
And
So
text and direct
and
mail.
text. Yep. So I mean, 24 months is a long time. I think that you would probably want to shrink that to 12 months and still try to get those 30 touches in there. Um, you're saying your conversions aren't good, but I'm here to tell you, man, I've been a part of over 5,000 real estate transactions. If you're really spending $5,000 a month and getting 5 deals, and your average wholesale deal is $12,000, let's just do a lot more of it. Is there any reason that you can't? So you got a 3,000 person list and a 4,000 person list. Can you make that into a 30,000 person list and a 40,000 person list? Can you 10x it?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, the budget is there. Yeah.
So we're just to put things in perspective, we're happy if we get a 3 to 5 return.
Okay.
Meaning that when we spend $1 on marketing, if we can make $3 to $5 back, that's pretty good. And that's what I see across most of our most other people in this industry. So you're more than double that. So let's just do like my good friend Frank Kern says, let's just do more of what works.
Okay.
You've got something that works. So your next question, and you asked me before the show started, is how do you go from doing 25 deals a year to we're doing 250 deals a year? Who are the other? So you got yourself and 2 team members. Who are the 2 team members? What do they
One,
do?
yeah, one helps me on the purchasing side, and the other one helps me on the disposition side. I say the word help because I haven't given them free reign, so to speak. So, for example, I speak to every buyer, and part of the reason why I speak to every buyer is lots of the times my ultimate goal is not to wholesale a deal. My ultimate goal is to find a way to keep it. for our own portfolio. So lots of times, I've got to do what I like to call just weird negotiations or weird terms that I can't really let an individual person handle on their own for me. So, but they help me. They help me a lot on the paperwork. They help me a lot on the driving. They help me a lot on the meeting, on the appointment setting, things of that nature. My disposition guy, that one is pretty autonomous because that side is just marketing. It's just, letting the world know, hey, we have a new house, 123 Main Street, and weeding through the potential buyers. Whenever we do have a wholesale deal, I do have an advantage that I do have a small group of solid buyers that I know what they're going to buy at, that I know they'll pull the trigger quickly. So it isn't a whole lot of trying to find, a cash buyer. I know who they are. I give them a phone call. I mean, I've done wholesale deals where I don't have it under contract. I don't have any earnest money. I haven't opened up title, and I signed it over a handshake. So it's a Mitch being one of them. It's a pretty nice bond between myself and the other cash.
That's awesome, and we have the same thing. So I understand that seller financing can be really complicated. Mm-hmm. So when you make something complicated, it is hard to scale.
Yes.
So what I'm seeing as a picture of the blueprint for you to scale is maybe that you want to create a box. You want to create this proverbial box of when a lead comes in, you're going to say, is it a candidate for a seller finance note, sale? If it is, then it's going to route to you, or it's going to route to someone on your team that's going to get some information and pass along to you. If it fits into this other box over here, the wholesaling box, that is highly scalable, because all you're doing is you're getting it at a certain price, typically 65 to 75% of ARV, or 65 to 70% of ARV minus repairs, right? And then you're selling it hopefully at close to 80% of ARV. That can be highly scalable. So what you need to do is just do more marketing, and you've got something that's working really well. Do more marketing, and then get that acquisition person completely trained up on how to value a property, how to get renovation estimates done, and then just give them more. And then when they can't keep up, then you just hire another person. So you're asking about scaling earlier. It's all about people. It's all about people and systems, with people being more important than systems, because you can have the greatest systems in the world. If you got crappy people, it's not going to work. So create your systems, and you already have your systems. If you haven't, you just need to document them, do video screen shares, actually come up with a training library. And then you want to go out and you want to spend the time to find really talented people. This is an area that so many entrepreneurs overlook because they're busy in the whirlwind of the day-to-day activities. And they just put an ad out and they get 3 people and they interview them and they go, well, I'm going to hire that person. He's the best, or she's the best. Well, they may suck, but they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. I need help so bad. Don't ever do that. If you need to spend 20, 30, 40, 50 hours finding one good candidate, what is going to allow you to get to 100 deals faster than anything is hiring the right person, training them, and then giving them the authority to do their job.
I'm taking notes. Okay.
And this is all recorded too. We'll send you the recording. It'll be on the Facebook page and whatnot. But guys, give some love. Hit that heart button to Dan for his 12-to-1 return. Dan, are you will you share with us what list you're pulling, the 3,000 and 4,000 lists? Will you share what the criteria is?
Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone who's from San Antonio is going to get blocked from this video, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Let me hit that San Antonio button. Okay.
No, I mean there's plenty of fish in the sea. So I went ahead and take the behind on taxes. Now the list of behind on taxes, there's no science to this. I just kind of picked whoever was $5,000 or more. To me, that would represent at least 2 or 3 years in behind taxes. And then I cross-referenced those with a list of code violations, which is easily accessible in San Antonio. And then I went ahead and cross-referenced those 2 lists with out-of-state owners. So the 4,000 people, it's not like I just went out and bought a 4,000 person list. I probably started off with maybe, maybe 30 or 40,000 on the 5,000 or more behind on taxes. And then that list was heavily dwindled when I cross-referenced them with code violations. Because a lot of people live in their homes, they just don't pay their taxes. So, when you cross-referenced it with the code violations, then there's a good chance that they're vacant, that they really are vacant and abandoned and no one's taking care of them. And then the last step, which narrowed it down quite a bit, was the out-of-state owner list. So it took me a while. I mean, the first list I did it myself. The second one I learned from people like you, where I hired a VA to do it. And by the way, I got to root for the Philippines. They do amazing work for super cheap.
They sure do.
Yeah. So she was able to do it probably about a month and a half for me. So those are the two conveyor belts of marketing that we have right now.
Okay. So I am so excited for you because I have been where you've been. I did 25 deals a year, many, many years ago. And this is so clear to me. Dan, all you have to do is start what you did. And it was very, very smart. You took a bucket and you took a bucket here and you have your 3 buckets, right? Mm-hmm. And you said, okay, there's a good chance that someone in this bucket behind on taxes is going to be a motivated seller. But if they're behind on taxes and code violations, they're really going to be motivated. And then if they're out of state, they're really going to be motivated. So you got like the best possible list. Now you're getting a 12-to-1 return. So all you have to do is you started wide, you got really narrow. Now all I want you to start doing is every month you've got the data, just start going deep, wider and wider and wider until you get to a point of where it doesn't make sense anymore. And where it doesn't make sense is if you start to get a 2-to-1 return. But if you do that with this list, man, I'm going to have you back on the show in 6 months. And you are going to be telling me about how you're doing, 15 wholesale deals a month. And you're making $150,000 to $200,000 in revenue. Because dude, you've got everything. You got the pieces. You got the pieces.
Yeah.
All you need to do is expand and then focus on hiring and training the right people. And your world will explode in a good way. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. It really does. A little while ago, you spit out a real nice golden nugget, at least that I appreciated. I don't know if everyone else caught it, but you talked about video training. I never thought about that, and you're the second or maybe third person to speak of it. So I thank you. I just want
So guys, send us some love, and if you have any questions right now, type it in that comment section down there. So video training. Do you own a Mac?
I do.
Okay, I'm on a Mac right now. So they have a QuickTime Player. All you have to do is click on New, Start screen recording. And as you're going about your day, as you're comping a property, you're going to be talking to the microphone. And you're going to be saying, this is exactly what I do. When you talk with a seller and you're pulling comps, you're going to be doing that. You're going to have a library of training. Then when you hire someone, you just put them down and say, this is exactly how you do it. Watch this, John or Sally, and then write your questions down. And then you have just saved, instead of spending 3 hours training that person, you're closing deals while Sally's watching the video.
You
love it?
Yeah.
You love it?
I do.
So, I mean, you have got like the beginnings of something really amazing here because you've got the experience with wholesaling, which generates quick cash, right? And you've got the wealth building piece of the note and the seller financing. So now all you have to do, and this is why you're on the show, and this is why I'm providing this advice to you, all you have to do now is just do more of what you're doing, but don't forget the people. You got to focus on the people.
Yeah. No, that's true, and that's something that I got to, I gotta step away from my business, and or I should say I got to step away from the daily parts of the business and really just focus on the business from an outside perspective. So yeah, I can see that.
Let's take a break, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk about online marketing. I'm going to give you some tips on your website, which I think you could really use. So guys, I'm going to pause and tell you about something really cool I'm offering a select number of people. If you're struggling trying to grow your real estate investing business, you may be interested in this opportunity. At Brad Chandler Coaching, I teach people how to find freedom in their life doing exactly what we do, and that's to invest in real estate without needing tons of money or credit. If you're interested in learning more, you can see all of what my program has to offer by going to bradchandler.com. danpilla.com/learn. And on this page, you'll find a free training where I discuss how to grow a real estate wholesaling business. And it doesn't matter what level you're at. I help all levels of real estate investors. If you want to learn how to grow your existing business, go ahead and watch my free training at bradchandler.com/learn. If you're looking for freedom in your life, this could be the answer. Okay, back to Dan. I forgot to tell you guys too, I have a program that is ridiculously cheap. If you go to bradchandler.com/direct mail, it's actually a direct mail call system. So it teaches you how to do a lot of this stuff, a lot of the things that Dan is doing, how to pull a list, what postcards to use, all the cold calling scripts and stuff. So if you're interested in that, just go to bradchandler.com/direct mail. Okay, so not all you're doing because you're kicking ass, Dan, but in terms of marketing, you're just doing the direct mail call and follow up, correct?
In regards to the direct, yeah, correct.
Any other, are you doing any, I know you have a website. We're going to touch on that here right now, but are you doing anything else, any other marketing besides that?
No. So the marketing conveyor belts do include texts, which I actually use, mitch'slivecom.com, and I also use ringless voicemails, Sly Broadcast.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about online, because honestly, our online is where we get our biggest ROI.
Really?
So if I can figure out how to share this thing. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Let's go share my screen, and we're going to go to, can you see my screen there, Dan?
Oh yeah. It's embarrassing. You need to quit that.
I know. We're not going to spend a lot of time, but I got to beat you up a little bit just because people are going to learn from you. So my man has a ClickFunnels site, but at the top of the page, it says this page was created by ClickFunnels, how to get a 14-day free trial. If I'm a seller, I'm like, what in the world is that? So you got to get rid of that. Here are the 3 things your website should do in 5 seconds of a visitor coming. Number 1, it should tell what you do. Okay, Texas Cash home buyer. Learn how you can sell your house fast. Are you a home buyer or a realtor? Not sure. So you don't really answer the first question. The second question is, what's the benefit of using your service? Well, I see no benefit here. The third is, how do we contact you? Well, I don't see that either. So I'm bouncing, man. I'm going to your competitor site. So I could go on and on and on about what you need to do. First of all, you need to have a form on the front page. You need to have your contact number. You need to have a really compelling headline. We buy house in San Antonio fast. Avoid the hassles of blah, blah, blah. What is the benefit to them? But here's my advice is, rather than going and having your uncle or your best friend or whoever build out a site, you don't need to do that, because OnCarrot is the best investor platform in the world in terms of getting motivated seller leads to investors. So for like $99 a month, I'm telling you, Dan, I think I've given you some pretty good advice. This is one piece of advice you want to listen to. Go to bradchandler.com/carrot. Go there as soon as we hang up and get a website. You can get, for $100, you can get 3 websites, 1 seller focused, 1 buyer focused. So you can put all your properties and you can maintain your buyer list. So when you get a property, you can blast it out. Then if you have one of your VAs they have a 3-day per lead training. 6 months from now, you can have leads coming in, crazy leads. And guess what? These people are actually typing in, how do I sell my house fast in San Antonio? So they're really, really good leads. So instead of, and I tell this to everyone, if I was starting fresh myself, I would never try to build a website. I would go right to Investor Carrot, bradchandler.com/carrot, just like the vegetable. And that's what you got to do. You got to do it, because that website's a little rough, man.
It's a little rough. You're being nice.
So do that. And if anyone else is out there, again, if your website doesn't answer those 3 questions in 5 seconds, what is it that you provide? What's the benefit to your service? And number 3, how do they contact you? And don't tell me they contact you by clicking on a form, because every time you click on a button, you're going to lose people, because you go to our website, you've got everything right there. The other thing about Carrot is when you start typing an address, it auto-populates. It just makes it easier for the seller putting in their information in. Right now, when you go to sell a property, do you have a website that you put it on?
No.
Okay. Dude, I'm so excited for you, because you're doing some really great things, but then you're missing a whole side of the business. So your magic formula, Dan, here it is. Your magic formula is expand your expand your list. You've already got the addresses. Number one, expand your list.
Okay.
Number two, internet marketing. And I'm not saying go spend a ton of time. I'm saying get a Carrot site, have a VA spend a couple hours a week or a half an hour a day doing the training because they give incredible training. And then number three is people. That next hire, when you start to expand that list and you're thinking to yourself, people are always like, Brad, how do you know when you need to hire someone? Here's the magic formula of when you need to hire someone. When you can't keep up with those leads and you can't call them back and be all over those leads. We follow up. We hit a new lead 15 times in the first 4 days. Oh, if you can't have massive follow-up in the first 3 weeks, because that's typically when you're going to close the deal, then I've got to hire someone. So
wow, that's interesting. You said 15 times in the first
4 days.
4 days.
Now, of course, if we get in contact with them, we're not going to keep calling. That's to get in contact with them. And we have last time I checked, we had a 99.9% contact rate or 99% contact rate. We get in touch with 99% of the leads that come into our system.
For better or worse, you get in contact with them.
We do. So do you have the metrics, by the way, Dan, on how many leads you get to how many appointments to how many deals? Do you track that?
Not broken down that way.
Do you have all right, so you need to know those numbers. So it's really important to know your KPIs. And by the way, I teach all of this in my coaching program. So you may want to check it out because I could totally help you scale. Do you have a CRM?
I do. I use Podio.
Okay. Did you build it out yourself or did you have?
No, a buddy of mine originally, maybe like a year ago, he sent me like a starter packet, I guess, from someone else who had designed. So it's got like your your leads, your cash buyers, your real estate agents, your projects if you're doing flips, that kind of thing. I'm not super savvy at it. I mean, it's I might be better with a spreadsheet, to be honest.
So as you scale, Dan, one of the really vital parts is going to be your CRM, because you're going to need to, number one, know if you're following up with the leads and if your team is following up. And number two, that's just as critical, is you need your KPIs, your key performance indicators. You need to know, if I spend $1, what am I getting back? If John goes on 10 appointments and closes 2, and Sally goes on 10 appointments and closes 6, you need to know that, because the person closing the 2 deals, you need to train. So there are countless investor software programs out there. If you go to bradchandler.com/CRM, we actually recommend FreedomSoft, but there are countless other ones out there. And for $100, $200 a month, it is so worth it to you to do. So maybe the next person that you hire, Dan, since you have admitted that you're not technologically savvy, maybe that next person has to have the technology background, or just be savvy enough that they can help you implement some of this stuff.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you want to get to doing how many deals? You're talking big volume here. So 50 deals on the top end and 175 deals. You're talking about 125 deals per year. That's a big operation. I mean, you're going to have a team of 5 or 10 people. So you really need to have good people. You need to have good systems, and you need to have the database that kind of wraps it all together. And that's essentially what we've done in Express Home Buyers. I started out buying houses myself. I got together with my partner. I'm like, okay, we're doing all the same stuff. It doesn't make sense. I'll take sales and marketing. You take construction. And then we're like, okay, I said, I can't keep up. We got to hire someone. He said he couldn't keep up. So we hired a project manager. So I'm making it simple, but it really is this simple. All you have to do is market more, have the people to close those. And then as you expand, you spend more dollars on marketing and you hire more qualified people. Like, it's not right. This business that we're in, Dan, as you know, it's not rocket science. It's just, you just have to go. It's, I have a proven model for how I got from a negative $80,000 net worth to owning a company that will do 250 wholesale deals this year without me. It's just a proven system. So just follow the system that I've given you and you will see massive results. I mean, you're probably a lot closer than you even think you are. So I'm so excited for you.
I am too. I appreciate the time. I appreciate the opportunity. I'll put it to heart. I really like the whole video training and the video library thing, because one of the things that I do battle is the fact that, on one side I want to grow the business, the wholesale side, but on the second, avenue, I really like the idea of not being involved in a business, which is the reason why I love notes. Literally for me, I do it once, I do it right, and I don't have to worry about it until they refinance and I get a big check, which is pretty nice. Or they don't pay and then I have to foreclose, which is still kind of nice. Um, but but with wholesale, it just seems that there's a lot of people involvement, and that's a personal struggle. I mean, I'll take full responsibility for that. It's a personal struggle to have to work with people and hire people and deal with people and train with people. So you don't know how much I really appreciated that little golden nugget about developing a video training library. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we spend a lot of time on people in our second level of training, entrepreneur to CEO, a lot of time, because when I go around the country and I deal with my students and I'm in a lot of mastermind groups, I'm connected with some of the top investors. I'm telling you that 98% of people's problems are, guess what? People. They either have the wrong person in the wrong seat, or they don't have the right person, period, that they just, they just need more people. So we're experts at finding and retaining and motivating those people. So, hey, I got one last tidbit for you. I did watch your video, the first half of it on your About Us page, and you say, "Why do I buy these dirty, disgusting, vacant homes?"
Yeah.
So a seller could totally be turned off by that, because imagine, it's American pride. Like, people love to own their house. So when you redo your website, let's get that script and redo it, and not talk about dirty, disgusting, vacant houses, because it might be like, my house isn't dirty, disgusting, and vacant. So click off, and I'm out of here.
Okay. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I like that.
Awesome.
Thanks for taking the time to looking at my dirty, disgusting, filthy video.
No problem. So guys, earlier I mentioned a free training. If you want to see this amazingly detailed training on how I made $33,750 on a townhouse that I never bought or repaired, just go to bradchandler.com/results. Guys, thanks for sticking around the end. Remember, it is possible to leave your job and get the freedom you deserve in your life through real estate investing without needing money to buy or renovate the homes. And it is possible to scale your real estate business, because we just went through it with Dan. He's going to come back on the show. You better be back here 6 months to a year and tell me that you're on pace to do 100 deals, because you're so close. So anyway,
okay.
myself, countless students, Dan, are living proof that this actually works. So I'm telling you guys, don't think it doesn't work, because I feed my family and 26 other employees and virtual assistants with this exact tactic. So if we can do it, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I don't know, Dan might be, but no. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. This guy has freedom. Hey, by the way, Dan, how great is it that, do you have any children?
We don't.
Okay. Well, how great is it though when you want?
I think I don't know if this is where you were going. You wanted to touch about freedom and the freedom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, the first dose, and I love talking about this, and I think you'll appreciate it. The first dose that I really got of the kind of freedom that real estate can deliver happened when my wife and I got married last July 28th. Thanks. We both born and raised here in San Antonio, and we were talking about where we get married and what we would do. And long story short, we both realized that if we were going to get married here, we'd probably have a huge fiesta of maybe 1,000 people. I mean, it just the list of people that we would invite would just be astronomical. And I said, well, how about we just get married on the other side of the country? And she says, sure, where at? So we started going a couple places back and forth, and we decided on New York. That was pretty awesome, because we didn't really have to think much twice about time or expenses. We simply booked a hotel in New York. We rented a bus. We took our friends and family. Some flew over and met us there. And we were able to do that because of the freedom that real estate can deliver. I don't remember a single time thinking about, I need to make it back to work. I was able to completely run, my business from afar. When we were coming back, we had a real short conversation, 30 seconds. And the topic of New Orleans came about. She had never been to New Orleans. And I said, well, why don't we just fly over there? We did. We stayed there. I don't even know, like a week or a week and a half. And all of that was done on the last minute, on the fly, just because we could. And that to me was the first really big dose of what this industry and this business can deliver. And if we had it, I mean, anyone else can have it. It really is great.
Absolutely. So you mean you have to call your boss and clear and say, is it okay if I take this vacation or go on my wedding? Didn't have
Not
to
at
do.
all.
I've got two kids when they're sick. I don't need to call in. I stay home with them. I work from home. So guys, I'm just telling you this. And we're not telling you this to brag. We're telling you this because we didn't always have that in our lives. And it is phenomenal. It's even more important than the money that you make. So just take the first step, take the first step, take that, whether it's me or someone else, just take that first step. You can go to bradchandler.com. You can buy my product for pennies at bradchandler.com/direct mail, but take that first step. And if you don't like your job and you don't like the life of not having freedom, take that first step to freedom. Dan, man, it was such a pleasure. You're a hilarious dude. You got so much going for you, and you better keep in touch with me because I know you're gonna knock the cover off the ball. You're already doing it, but you're gonna start hitting some grand slams here soon.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and the platform. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it.
Awesome, buddy. Take care.